The Redmi Note wasn't exactly a great smartphone. Yes, it was once the cheapest phablet in the market with an HD display, an octa-core processor, a 13-megapixel camera, and a huge removable battery. However, the phone suffers from software reliability issues and insufficient storage for apps. It's year 2015, and Xiaomi has been slow to introduce flagships like it used to. Even the Mi Note doesn't seem to be solid enough to be hailed as the flagship of the year. Is the Redmi Note 2 a serious contender this time? This is Warren from KLGadgetGuy, and this is the Redmi Note 2 review. Hugo Barra once told me that his favorite phone was the Redmi Note, and I have a strong feeling that he has put on some hard work on improving the second generation of the device. The Redmi Note 2 now looks slicker and less boxy. It looks more like the larger version of the entry-level Redmi 2. The Redmi phone lineups have always fared a better treatment than the Mi flagships by having a removable battery and expandable storage. Its back case is made of a high-quality polycarbonate material found on its Mi 4i. What's really different this time is that Xiaomi has chosen to use a MediaTek Helio X10 MT6795 processor on the phone, a daring effort that directly challenges the HTC One M9 Plus, which is also using the same chip, however with a higher clock speed. The system on chip is an impressive silicon on mid-range devices like this. It also makes me wonder how the company is going to sell its Mi 4i. Otherwise, the phone has 2GB of DDR3 RAM, a 5.5-inch Full HD resolution display, 16GB of flash memory, and a 3060 mAh battery. The Redmi Note 2 also surprisingly features a built-in IR blaster, which has been missing since the Mi 4i and Mi Note. While Xiaomi has been really proud of its MIUI software, I personally find that the company is having trouble in keeping its phones updated with the latest Android operating system. Otherwise, I would assume that the company isn't interested at all in following Google's software direction. The Redmi Note 2 comes preloaded with MIUI 7 based on Android 5.0.2 Lollipop. The latest version of MIUI 7 promises great performance improvements over the troubled MIUI 6 software, and I personally find it to be more usable this time. And in spite of that, it is still a clunky user experience, and you may still experience some little crashes in Google Apps as usual. The Redmi Note 2 delivers an extremely snappy user experience that is on par with more expensive smartphones. MIUI 7 is also more beautiful with high-quality themes and wallpapers, a smart gallery that understands your pictures and categorizes them accordingly. And I still have to commend Xiaomi's security app, which provides some great customizations to power profiles and cleaning up your phone's storage. However, there's still one really bad thing about Xiaomi's software, which is the inability to move apps to the SD card. Xiaomi officials have once insisted that 16GB is more than sufficient for most people. However, when you consider that this is a pretty high-end smartphone, people would like to install lots of apps and games which could easily take up that paltry 9GB of available storage, and it makes expandable storage on the device sadly pointless. Xiaomi isn't wrong to be proud of its achievement in smartphone photography, and the company has been emphasizing its HDR features in every of its keynotes. The Redmi Note 2's main camera captures 13-megapixel footage with face detection autofocus and an f2.2 aperture. I'm actually quite impressed with its very perceivable focusing speed, and imaging quality is decent enough for social media postings and food porns. If you lower down your expectations, the camera is also quite capable for low-light photography. The front camera also gets a resolution bump to 5 megapixels, and I find Xiaomi's beautify effect to be very satisfying on every of its phones. Full HD video recording now works better over its predecessor, however it still isn't great in keeping constant frame rates. The MediaTek X10 Helio chip isn't a great performer when it comes to flagship devices like the One M9 Plus, however it fits perfectly in the Redmi Note 2's category. Benchmark scores show significantly higher scores than Snapdragon 615 devices, and it runs 3D graphics pretty well, all thanks to a 1080p display. The phone gets a little warm after some time of usage, and it is still tolerable. The phone's battery is sufficient enough to get you through a day on a moderate use. However, if you happen to run out of juice halfway, juicing up the device could be a pain without quick charge support. The Redmi Note 2's loudspeaker now sounds way better than its predecessor and makes more sense as a phablet for entertainment. In that case, voice calls over loudspeaker also works great. At the end of the day, the Redmi Note 2 still isn't an all-round great smartphone. It tends to disrupt the mid-range smartphone market, and it also tries to kill its own flagship portfolio. The downside of this device remains at software and storage. The Redmi Note 2 is a distant upgrade from its predecessor and is the best value for money phablet that Xiaomi has ever made. The 649 ringgit price tag is the thing that makes everything on the phone look attractive and puts Xiaomi back into the high-end price war game once again. The phone will work best for users looking for a decent smartphone performance without paying too much. It would also serve well as a traveling smartphone with its dual SIM and removable battery feature. If storage is a major concern, I would suggest waiting for Xiaomi's next flagship. Otherwise, the Zenfone 2 laser from Asus could be a great consideration.